When I was diagnosed with cancer in September 2023, I started to make TikTok videos. I made a few in the car. I made some up at the school where I used to walk my dog. And I just went through countless hours of thought. You can always go to my TikTok page right there on the screen, Danny G798, and check it all out start to finish. It occurred to me that I could put this stuff right next to each other and check out the progress that I made. And I'm always talking about cancer, but I like to take a little time to talk about health and weight loss too. I've always been overweight. When I was a kid, I was certainly overweight from a very young age. I got a little bit thinner when I hit puberty, and then I started to gain weight a little bit more. I got stay a little chubby, no muscle tone. Then I started to play football when I was a freshman in high school, and I got a little bit of it back when I was a sophomore. Was the last time I was in the shape that I'm in right now. I got it very briefly. Then I started eating again. And then I got married and had a kid and bought a house and got a job and did all the things that I was supposed to do. And I guess it all caught up with me, and you forget about it. And I got gray hair and I went bald. And I went through copious amounts of stress. And in the end, had quite a toll on my body. I'll be 49 on Friday, August 2nd, 1975. And I really hadn't realized it. I was really big for my entire life. I was over 320 at one point. And, that was probably like 10 years ago. So I've said before, I went on the alcoholic diet and I lost a little bit there, probably about half of it. I went from like 320 to 250 with just alcoholism. Then I went from 250 to 170 on the cancer diet, and that has proven to be very good. I sat at 173 today, actually, because I've started lifting. I've had to get so many things into perspective. I had a food addiction, absolutely 100%. The second worst addiction, I think it could possibly be in running for the first with nicotine. Food has probably got to be number one, though. So once I got cancer and I got motivated by that, you see that on the left, that was like approximately October of 2023. I was starting to get going. I was actually going from the dispensary here because I do have cancer and arthritis, and I can go to the dispensary now, which in Ohio has become totally legal. But just the gains that I've made, I mean, you can see that on the left hand side. That is absolutely crazy. I like how I feel. Like that one on the right, that one on the left is October 2023, and then the one on the right is just like last week when I got my last BCG cancer treatment. And I just for the last 2 weeks, I've really upped my game when it come to lifting. So I'm just seeing them gains now, and I've finally stopped. So the message today that I've been kind of thinking about is, if you've lost a great amount of weight, for those of you that are in that group of people that actually was able to lose a significant amount of weight, and think on the left hand side there, I'm about half the size that I used to be even. That if you have lost a significant amount of weight, the psychological things that you go through when it comes to that weight, it says a ton. I can't even wrap my mind around them. I'd love to start writing them down. Just the differences in my life, and that guy on the right there, it's very difficult to see him as a skinny person. He remains overweight, only in my mind. Sometimes when I look at him in the mirror, the body dysmorphia is kind of still there. It's going away over time. So I think keep in mind that one of the biggest lessons that I learned about weight loss of this degree is that it takes a lot of time to get used to each new feeling. You got to think that guy on the left got really used to his belly being that close to the steering wheel, but you can see the guy on the right looks a little bit different. I don't know, it's not as low, you can't really see up there, but there isn't much belly there to go toward the steering wheel. Those small subtle nuances go just on all the time. The way that people interact with you ends up being different. I'm sorry to say it, but people treat you differently when you're just quote unquote normal looking, which isn't normal at all. People don't normally look like that guy on the right. They would normally look like that guy on the left these days, but for some reason there's a social norm that applies here. For every reason, there's a social norm. So I grew up, just like the rest of you with this problem, getting picked on. I got picked on when I was older. Many times. That's one thing I will never miss. I think the last one I can remember, which I think actually was the last one, was several years ago. Keep in mind, it doesn't happen much as an adult, but it definitely happened. Some guy got mad at a place I used to work at because he got ripped off by some money, and he just was really upset. And then I was a big fat ass at 40 some years old. So, you know, it's a journey, and it's a long one. It's one that you'll have to stay patient for, but go for it, man, because it changes your life.